Good evening. An area east of downtown is under lockdown as police are in the middle of a standoff. The incident started just after 11:30 this morning. Police have the area of 47th and 48th Avenue from 50th Street blocked off. Officials say a man is inside a home and that he may be armed. The suspect is alone. The emergency response team from Edmonton has been called in as a precaution. Area residents were evacuated. No injuries have been reported. The Lloydminster RCMP are looking for help in finding a 56-year-old man. Richard Coe is a resident at the Dr. Cook Extended Care Facility. Coe was last seen at 2 p.m. on Friday. He has salt and pepper hair, 5'6", medium build, and of First Nations descent. If anyone has seen Richard, please contact the Lloydminster RCMP detachment. The 5th annual Lee Park Rodeo wrapped up today. The 3-day event was packed full of rain, wind, and a lot of fans. Cowboys and cowgirls come from all across North America to compete, and the planning for the event takes over a year to organize.
It's just planning, you know, and then the week before the rodeo, you know, the manual labor comes in, getting stuff set up, stuff organized, you know, stuff like that.
Even though the weekend was filled with bad weather and rain, fans of all ages made the trip to Lee Park.
I think it's a heck of a community event. It brings out a lot of people, and a lot of people have a good time. It's been here for years, and it's great support for sure.
Just the atmosphere of this rodeo it's one of a kind. We got one of a kind.
Lloyd Gray has been involved for over 30 years and says the event keeps on growing.
It's growing tremendous. 31 years ago, all was down here was a bunch of junk, old wooden corrals and page wire fence, and none of this buildings we have now. Everything was deteriorating, falling down, and we just went by year and built it up.
Definitely the crowds are starting to pick up a little bit. When I first started coming, they were a little smaller than this, but it seems like the word's getting out and a lot of people are coming. They find it's a good show, and why not come out and enjoy it.
And one of the more confusing events is a fan favorite.
I enjoy the bull riding. I don't know why guys would want to get on one of those things, but hats off to them.
Today was all about raising awareness for Crohn's and colitis at the 5th annual Gutsy Walk. As Elise Cox explains, participants braved the weather to show support for those who have been diagnosed.
Hard work has finally paid off as these gutsy walkers hand in their pledges and gear up to take a stand for Crohn's and colitis.
We've been able to bring awareness to the illness and get a lot of people out participating, and people are more comfortable to come out and join us, and it's been great so far.
The whole family was invited to come out and walk, even sport their most creative outfits.
We came up with the idea because I was on Go Lightly, and we figured, well, this is a funny name, so that's how we came up with the idea.
The walk holds special meaning to Emily and her entire support system.
I was diagnosed last summer, and it will be 1 year in remission this summer, so that's what we're doing this for.
The foundation is working hard to raise awareness within the community for families just like Emily's.
For the first year, we had a very, very small turnout, but it's grown ever since then, and this has been the best turnout we've had.
These diseases are close to family, and I know a lot of my friends that have these diseases as well, so it's important to get out here and support the foundation. And it's great to see so many people from the community out here as well.
And it's with the support of the community behind her that Emily can proudly participate. Elise Cox, Newcap News.
A young boy orphaned in a horrific highway crash that claimed 7 lives received a boost from some local musicians in Wainwright. Timothy Wheaton lost his family in a crash this past April on Highway 63. Music teacher Judy Marchuk and her students are showing their support by collecting donations and sending a card from their community.
It's been really encouraging to see the people and the response, and like most people, you know, they can tear up when they think about Timmy, and so yeah, the response has been wonderful.
Donations are being accepted at the Wainwright Pentecostal Assembly and will go to a trust fund for Timothy at the Bank of Montreal. Emmett joins us on the desk for a look at sports.
I can make it quick if you like. I know people don't like to hear me a lot.
No, but Chuck's wrapped up today.
And I won't have any jokes for you this time.
No jokes today? That was such a good one yesterday, though.
It was a thriller, though. The drivers and horses in the CPCA must have been restless today After having to wait a week to get their second race of the season in, Day 2 of Yorkton was rained out last night. Devin Mitswing led after the first night, finishing a quarter of a second faster than Jamie Labicane with a time of 1:05.76. It was his third day win out of 4 opportunities, yet it wasn't enough to win Yorkton today. B.J. Carey, who sat over a second behind Devin in 7th position, posted a blistering time of 1:03.88 to win the Yorkton Championship. It's a strong start to the season for Big BJ as he posted 2 wagons in the top 5 in the first week in North Battleford. Lloydminster, pay attention. The best team on the diamond this year is a group of teenage girls. The Lloydminster Rebels U16A team has been absolutely dominant this season, winning game after game, tournament after tournament. This weekend, they were in Calgary to play some midget A-ball. The girls won their first 3 games, outscoring the opposition 28-17. The girls played a 4th and final game last night, whipping the Calgary Kodiaks 13-0 for their second mercy of the weekend. Madison Clark threw the complete game shutout. The Rebels were slated to play in the final this afternoon, but that was canceled due to rain. The Lloydminster Vandals opened the season at home last weekend with a convincing 27-0 win over the Central Alberta Buccaneers. This weekend, they headed to Calgary for the first of a 3-game road swing. The Vandals again showed strong offense and stellar D. The Gators came into the game with the worst-ranked defense, and the Vandals made them pay again. Lloydminster sits in a tie for first place after 2 weeks with the Calgary Wolfpack, who have scored 122 points and allowed none against. The Lloydminster Comprehensive Barons headed to Edmonton this weekend to compete in the ASAA Rugby Provincials. The Barons gained entry into the tournament by default, as Fort McMurray no longer has a rugby program. The Barons were seeded last of the 8 teams and would be in tough, having to face the top-ranked team to start things off. The Barons could never pose a serious attack while not being able to contain Lethbridge's offense. The Barons were stomped 50-0 in their opener. Lethbridge would go on to win the silver medal. As a result of the first-round loss, the Barons were moved into the 7th-place game against the 7th-seeded Grand Prairie Comp. Grand Prairie lost their opener 51-0, but proved even too difficult for the Barons. Lloydminster was able to get on the board this time, but were run over 42-15. The Wheatland Extreme have been on fire as of late, winning 4 of their last 5. Last night, they took on the winless Grand Prairie Thrashers at home, trying to climb to the 500 mark for the first time this season. The Extreme kept the Thrashers pointless on the year. The Basement Dwellers showed up with just 8 players. 2 went down with injuries, and 2 more were given game misconducts. That forced the refs to call the game with 13 minutes still to play. The Extreme win a ridiculous game 8-4.